What's going on, everybody? This is Justin from Off the Rail Podcast, and I'm pretty excited today. We got a really cool guest. We got my man Pedro Ramirez in the house, and quick introduction to him is he was actually he's a great musician, wonderful songwriter, and I got introduced to him through the Dale Brisby show. So we won't waste no more time, and go ahead and introduce yourself, and we'll kick it off from there.
All right. Well, how's it going, everybody? My name's Pedro Ramirez. Like he was saying, I, have done a lot of stuff online with the Dale Brisby crew and the Rodeo Time crew, and so thankfully a lot of people found my music through that. So that was really cool. But currently, I work full time as a firefighter, paramedic, there in the Metroplex, and that's kind of what I'm doing now. Still do some music on the side, as well as some leather work and other stuff like that I tinker with, but just working away.
Yeah, we'll jump into it. Man, let's start at the beginning. Where'd you grow up at?
So originally I'm from Amarillo, up in the Panhandle. We lived there till I guess I was 12 when we moved. So coming into 7th grade is when we moved to Graham, where I still live currently. Finished out school here, went to college back up in the Panhandle at Clarendon for a year, studied ranch and feedlot operations, so essentially like ranch management and stuff like that. The plan was to just get a job somewhere ranching, do that full time. I did do that for a little bit, and then kind of came back home between jobs and started working construction for my dad. And then from there, I was staying with a buddy of mine, and one Monday night we were just like, hey, let's go sign up for the volunteer fire department here in town. And so we did, and we caught one house fire, and some guys showed up with like fancy trucks and fancy equipment and stuff, and they went inside and put the fire out. It's like, man, who are they? And they're like, oh, that's the paid guys. Whoa, wait a minute. We can get paid for this? How do I do that? And then from there, it just took off. And all in there, I was playing music throughout, and I guess I skipped a part there. I went to South Plains in Levelland for a semester and studied music. And while I was doing that, I would go to Blue Light in Lubbock every Monday night and play the songwriter night on Monday nights. And so I kind of Forrest Gumped the Texas scene, if you will. Like, so essentially when, guys like Flatland were starting to take off, when their careers were really starting to blossom, I was, seeing them come in and play the Monday night deals. And then was fortunate enough to link up with Dalton Domino, and he put me on the lineup for one of his festivals and got to play with some really big names. And that was really fun. So it's been a journey.
Yeah, man, sounds like it. That's super awesome. And I guess how'd you stumble into the Dale Brisby situation?
So that happened. That came through the volunteer fire department that I started with. He essentially called up there, and he had some brush piles that he was wanting to burn off. So I guess I'll explain that for people who don't know. So in Texas, we have a lot of mesquite trees and, some juniper trees. And so he had cleared off a bunch of property of his and piled up the brush, and he wanted to burn it off. Well, just to be safe, he called up there to get a truck to come and, I guess, stand by just in case it got out of hand. We could put it out. And so when that happened, I was already kind of doing the YouTube thing. I had done a couple like hunting and fishing videos. That's another big hobby of mine. I love the outdoors. And so I had done some hunting and fishing videos. And so when I went, I was like, hey, man, I've got a YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate it if you checked it out. No big deal if you don't. I just appreciate it if you took a look at it and maybe gave me some pointers on how to make better content. And so right then and there, he was like, well, do you want to get on camera? And I was like, oh, my gosh, like, sure. And so I did one interview, and then I guess the comment section blew off. And then from there, we ended up doing that cops video that gets reshared every now and again. And then we just kind of took off from there, started doing the music stuff, and it went from there.
Oh, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, it seemed like you guys had a good time.
We did, for sure. It was a lot of fun.
Okay, then I guess we can get up to date and talk about the being a fireman. What would make you want to do that?
So I think it's a calling. I think it really is. I think it takes us like a certain type of person to be able to do it.
Yes, sir.
but I've always enjoyed helping people, even from like a young age. I remember being a little kid, and like if I'd see an old lady trying to put her groceries in the car, I'd like run up to her like, "Hey, can I help you?" You know. So I've always just loved helping people, and so the opportunity came about for me to turn my just love of helping people into a career. And so whenever that opportunity came about, it was just something I couldn't pass up.
Man, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And let's talk a little bit about your music. I guess what do you have coming up? What's in the works?
So I just finished paramedic school. So essentially for the last year of my life, I did nothing but kept my nose in a book. And
well, let's stop you there and say congratulations. That's wonderful, man.
Thank you.
Super awesome.
Yeah. And so, thankfully it looks like everything's kind of cleared up with the COVID stuff and everybody's back open. So I'm looking into kind of booking some one-off deals here and there. I know you and I had talked about booking something in the future, trying to get something on the books with that. So I definitely want to revisit that and try and get something on the books with you. But just wherever will let me play, I'll come play. Just really trying to build back a set and a set list and get my chops back up to being able to where I can go play for an hour and a half somewhere and not really worry about blowing out my voice or running out of songs to play. So
yeah, man, that sounds awesome. I'm a huge fan. Like, I would love to bring you down here to Central Texas and
for sure
let these guys get a taste of your stuff. Yeah, man, I guess I just thank you a whole lot for coming on today, and I hope that we can check back in with you in a couple months and kind of see how everything's coming along. Yeah, man. So I just want to say thank you so much for coming on today. Is there anything you want to say to the folks before we head out?
Just go check out the YouTube channel. Go check out the Instagram. I've got some ideas that I've been bouncing back and forth that I really want to work on. I really want to start like a cover series, do covers of songs that I really like. I think that's really fun. I think people enjoy watching that. And then I really just want to get back to writing and try and put some new music out and eventually try and get some studio time booked to where I can put some stuff out actually onto, listening platforms like Spotify, iTunes, all that good stuff. So stay tuned for some of that. Just follow along on the Instagram. I'm trying to be more active now that I've got a little more free time on the social platforms, but we'll just see how it goes. Play it by ear.
All right. Well, we'll be paying attention. Like I said, huge fan. Can't wait to see what the future holds for you. And man, with that being said, from Off Road Podcast, we're out. Take care, brother.
Thanks so much.